Hi everyone, I'm Jerzy Gregorek, and I will talk to you today about perfect posture. Perfect posture, not in 20s and 30s. Perfect posture in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100. To have a perfect posture, when you are old, you need to know how we age, how to measure it, and how to practice on a daily basis to have it, to sustain it, or achieve it. In the Happy Body program that my wife and I created, we recognize two perfect postures. Standing posture. That it is when you draw a line through the ankles, hips, shoulders, ear, and extend the straight vertical arms. And if you have a perfect line, your posture didn't age, no matter how old you are. So what happens when the posture ages? The first sign, our chest collapses, moves down. So this happens exactly. So when our chest moves down, then the head has to lift up to see ahead of ourselves. When the process continues throughout the years, more and more our neck is compressed until the moment that our spine is so bent forward that we cannot see ahead of ourselves. At that point, we have to move our knees forward to see. And that is when we start looking like very old people. And when our knees get sore in pain, we take a cane and move with the cane. Okay? When our arm is getting really weak, we take the walker and push a walker. While our arms get weak and knees, we sit. We sit and we probably will never stand up. So, in order to avoid it, we created the program. So it's all preventive. But now, I will show you what happens with the hips. In the standing posture, the hips tucks under. So this exactly happens. When that happens, our lumbar spine flattens. You probably saw a lot of time x-rays of a 60-year-old person with flat spine. You can visit your chiropractor and then he will show you. The spine is flat. It's not anymore arch. So you lose the lumbar arch by tucking your hips. And it's because of tightness of your hamstrings. So this happens, right? And we are already compromised. There's no straight line anymore. When you add the chest to it, then you have two joints that contribute to that aged posture. Now, that's the standing posture. And when you lose the line, the straight line, the posture is aged. Now, what happens in the sitting posture? When we sit down, the ankles justify the perfect posture. So ankles have to be flexible enough. But the posture is measured by angles and not anymore by straight line. So when we sit down, the angles between the foot and the calves, and the angle between the calves and the quadricep and the whole body lower body, and the straight line up. These angles measure the perfect posture. If it's perfect, we're able to have vertical arms and stand up vertically without moving forward and raising our heels. So what to do when you actually start moving forward like this and you're unable to have the posture like that? It means you are compromised. You have to find a place of the flexibility that permits you to move down to the level of when your heels are going up or your arms are moving forward and you are losing the vertical line. What to do then? How to live life to have perfect posture in the standing and in squatting. We created a program that actually includes the Happy Body standard of perfect posture, good posture, what we call it. But there are major free exercises that you can do on a daily basis to prevent yourself from posture aging. So one is arches. So that will help you to arch the spine enough so you don't lose the lumbar, and your thoracic spine helps you to move that chest up so you're not losing it. So the way you do is to arch back, and the more you arch, the more your spine is flexible. In this way, you have the spine that bends forward and also backward if you need it. Now the hips. You remember when the hips tap. So never tap your hips. Never do this, right? So when you tap, that's when you lose completely flexibility and you in your lumbar, and you start aging your lumbar spine. So what to do? Stiff leg deadlift is the exercise. But throughout this exercise, you need to keep your chest up and lumbar arch. So you're not doing this, right? So you have to do the exercise that chest is up and the lumbar is arched. Okay? And now, the ankles. The ankles are really difficult to make them flexible. So when you squat, be sure that you start from moving your knees forward this way. Alright? So when the knees are forward, especially about 3-4 inches ahead of your toes, that is enough flexibility for the body to move the hips this way and not that way. See, when the knees are going back, then we started losing and look like that. In order to have your hips rotated forward enough that your spine is arched and arms can be straight, that is enough to actually make the whole sitting posture perfect. So whenever you are sitting, remember, knees forward. Then, to train it on a daily basis, you have to find the level of squatting when your hips are not compromised and your spine is not compromised. And you feel the tension in the ankles and keep squatting lower and lower and making the ankles more flexible. In this way, one day you will end up with the perfect posture in sitting position or squatting. Well, I wish you to enjoy perfect posture throughout the life, especially when you are 100. Bye-bye.